All right, hello, welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging. We're playing more We're in Danger tonight, a game I have made and have been tinkering with for a little while now. And we're going to test out some new stuff. It's new year, new stuff. So we're testing out these sci-fi horror, like little, bonus rules and modifications and things like that. So if you're familiar with Alien or Mothership or Death in Space or any of those types of games, that is definitely what we're going to be playing around with. Okay, now if you know We're in Danger, it's a pretty simple game. You have 4d6s, and that's pretty much what you roll most of the time. You have 3 attributes, and you're testing your attributes throughout the course of the game. You take strain, you take wounds, eventually you die. And in this game, in this variation, we have 3 attributes: science, culture, and muscle. That's what you got. And remember, the lower you rank your attributes, the better. So whatever you give a 1, that's what you're best at. Whichever you give a 3, that is what you are worst at. You still have your expertise, so you can define that to be however you like. Expertise, remember, on a test that it would apply, gives you an automatic hit in your pool to play with, which is great. And then one new wrinkle is that in the normal game for We're in Danger, we have items, and items allow you to manipulate a single die, get a little bonus on the die after the roll. We've replaced that. There's no more items. There's tech now. So tech is a little bit more complicated, so there's a little bit more to it. So tech is a way of getting even better items. So it's kind of like these like souped up items to sort of reflect the fact that you're in the future or something like that. So you get a number of tech slots on your for your character equal to your muscle. So if you're a person who ranked muscle as like your weakest attribute, so Melissa, for instance, if you ranked it like a 3, that means you have access to 3 tech slots. The idea being, if you're not that muscular and strong, you're probably relying more on trinkets and stuff to get by in your everyday life. Now, when you want to use tech, kind of like Blades in the Dark, you don't have to define it right at the start of the game. You can kind of wait till later. You can keep it blank, and then when a situation arises where it would be nice to have a nice piece of tech, you can say you have one. Now you want to define what it is and what it does, and it can't be too broad, but yeah, that's how it ends up working. And not only that, but it doesn't just give you a +1 to a die, I should say. It gives you actually a much higher bonus based upon your other attributes. And over the course of the scenario, you can continue to use it, but as you use it, it depletes. So it keeps going down and down and down. And then one other thing is that there's a new kind of danger, since every one of these different genre flavors has a different class of enemy that you can fight, and they have a special ability that interacts with tech. And we'll talk about that when we get close to it. But that's basically it. Otherwise, like, everything else is kind of the same. Rules are the same. Systing's the same. Numbers and stuff are the same. Make sense? We good? Okay. So, the other thing we're going to try to do, I've been kind of curious about this. I got a lot of like Death in Space and Mothership modules sitting around. So we're going to do one of those, and we're going to see if we can make it work. So the rest, you 3 aren't allowed to know this. So not listening. But we're going to be playing Nunsuaq Station. For Death in Space. It's been sitting in my drive for Death in Space for quite some time. So, and we might try a few more Mothership ones as well over the course of the next few weeks. So, okay. Do we want to introduce characters first, or do we want to do that in the scene? Just do
in scene sounds
maybe?
Fun.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. Let me get a little mood music coming on here. Let's see. Do a little of that. Okay. So all of you, we're in the future, not probably the far future, maybe like 100 years or so. You have been sent to Nunsuaq Station by your employers, the Konbina Corp, excuse me. You are specifically tasked with making an annual supply shipment to this station. And you've also been instructed to speak with the station's lead scientists. Now, the station is on an icy small moon that orbits the planet Ogre, which is far on the other side, or far on the outskirts of the system. And you're supposed to head out there, not just to supply the station, but because the corporation that you work for is a little bit concerned with some of the recent communications it's been getting from a Dr. Bellarda, who was the lead scientist. There was talk perhaps of maybe having discovered some kind of new form of life beneath the icy waters of this moon. But ever since that update, there's been no details. And apparently Dr. Bellarda has a bit of a reputation and has somewhat under suspicion that maybe they are going to betray this new discovery and give it over to some rival. And so you're getting out there to kind of get a sense of what exactly is going on. So we open up in scene and we see your shuttle plummeting down into this dark, icy landscape. Now, you would know from your readings that there is no breathable atmosphere on this moon. It's not horrifically rocky. You don't see like undulating mountain ranges. It's relatively plain looking terrain. But as far as the eye can see, it's just darkness and ice. Darkness and ice. You have on your displays the location of Nunsuaq Station. And you know that the station itself is actually situated about 1 kilometer below the surface. And it is floating around in the icy water. It's attached to a small hangar and some solar panels on the surface. And then you would have to take a lift down. So we see your shuttle in this kind of this sort of swirling cold atmosphere of some kind, just descending and descending and descending. From above, we see a small hangar and enough to fit maybe a shuttle or two, but nothing enormous. We see a handful of solar panels. It's probably not getting a ton of light currently. And then we see you all come down in your rickety old shuttle. And then one by one, we see you all exit from some kind of ramp, dressed in your EVAs, like thick, heavy EVAs. And it isn't until we kind of zoom right up that we're actually able to see your face. So the first person we see coming out, well, actually, based upon your attributes, who do we think the first person out of the ship would be? Who do we think like takes point, stepping off the ship into a dangerous locale?
Jeremy.
Probably.
All right. Jeremy, who do we see? And then obviously, like, we can see your face once we zoom up on your on your face panel.
Yeah. Out first is just like a completely smooth, uncanny valley style face that's humanish, but clearly not human because I can't not play an android. And emblazoned on his uniform is like the Double Dragon Tow and Rescue insignia. And so yeah.
Nice.
So Double Dragon.
Step forwards.
Yeah, Double Dragon's a reference to an actual Death in Space game we ran a while back. You can find it on the channel if you look for it. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Jeremy.
Yeah, no worries. Our customer service scores are exemplary. However, we have fallen on hard times lately and have had to rely on corporate sponsorship. But nonetheless, I am sure that you will be quite satisfied with my service, ma'am. Please allow me to go first.
So we see you begin to chun down the ramp. Are you carrying anything with you? Do you have any equipment on you? You don't have to define it per the mechanics of the game, but is there anything you're carrying that we should know about?
So we see he's got some sort of big pack. Because the way I'm looking at this is because my brawn is the one. I've got one item, whatever it is, it's going to be a chunky item. So you can see he's the sort of guy that goes out and does like salvage on vehicles that are lost in space. So you see he's got some sort of big, massive salvaging toolkit on his back.
Okay. And so as we see you crunch down from the ramp onto the surface itself, we see the ice and this kind of thin layer of something, not quite snow, but it's certainly got that same kind of feeling to it. And we just see this tuft of like white and gray cover your boots as you go trotting off. Now your shuttle doesn't just carry the three of you, it also carries various supplies that you're supposed to send down to the station, again, about 1 kilometer below. And you are standing on top of a thick sheet of ice. And then beneath it is just cold, cold sea. Following, what is your character's name again, Jeremy? I apologize.
Dragon.
Okay, it is Dragon. Following Dragon, who comes out next?
You would see my character would be ushering Joe's character out. Policy would require that you would go next and I would go last.
Oh, okay. He probably would be stepping out pretty curious as well. This scientist guy, like his nature, I put as stupidly curious. So he's, waiting the bare minimum amount of time to make sure that we're safe. And you would see Professor Dr. Edgar Pimsley. He is a nerdy, kind of middle-aged guy. He's got this glinting reflection from within his suit of these like thick goggle-like glasses that are correcting his vision, that are like, they've got a thick rubber strap to keep it to his head for low gravity and stuff like that. And he's just kind of taking it all in, looking around and kicking stuff around on the ground and tapping and just trying to get a sense of the place as quickly as possible.
Okay. Looking around, you notice that it's a relatively flat expanse that they've built the station. They released the surface connectivity of the station on a relatively flat expanse, and you can tell that they've set up a huge array of solar panels to help power the station below, and that all seems to extend pretty far in the distance. The hangar, like I said, is not that big. It's probably enough to fit maybe your shuttle. Like it could probably fit your shuttle, and maybe a couple other smaller, like maybe ground vehicles or like orbital vehicles that can kind of do some sort of scouting. But it's not particularly large. But you see nothing else. You don't see any signs of vegetation. You see no signs of animals. You see no signs of people. Nothing like that. It's all very, very dark, very cold, and very empty. And then, finally, Melissa, who is the last person we see coming down the ramp?
So the last person you see is Winifred Atla. She is kind of the corporate representative, kind of HR here to kind of remind this sort of wayward employee as to their employment contract and all of the, addendums therein as to, possession of all research and discoveries and all of those types of pieces. And so if you were able to kind of see kind of through, kind of her suit, she has kind of very poofy blonde hair and kind of a futuristic business suit that's kind of under this spacesuit, and her nature is corpo speak fake.
Okay, that's really good. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so the three of you come down. Your ship has like probably a ramp that goes up to the cargo area where you have all sorts of supplies that have to be shipped down. From the specs and just from your debriefing that there is a large lift that connects to the station somewhere inside the hangar. That it takes about 10 to 20 minutes for that lift, the capsule, to go from the surface down to the station. You also know that there is a secondary kind of support cable, not in it of itself a lift, but that connects the sort of the power that's being generated from the solar panels down to the station itself. So again, all you really see are the panels and a hangar and a bunch of empty expanse. What do you guys decide to do here? And you all would have communication to each other through your EVA helmets.
So this is like where the landing pad is. We know the direction of where the actual...
Yeah. You can see it maybe about, 150, 200 yards away.
Okay.
The hangar.
Is there like snow or anything that would leave like footprints?
Tons of ice. And yeah, there's like this sheath of something, the equivalent of snow. And other than your own, you don't really see any footprints. You do see, like, obviously when your shuttle came down, it created it kind of threw things left and right. So there's a lot of disarray here. But in the immediate area around this landing area, you don't really see anything in terms of movement.
Okay. Are there any lights on or anything? Any signs of like movement or stuff going on over at the base?
Yeah, as you look around, you do see a flickering light from time to time flicker on through one of the panel windows of the hangar and then kind of flicker off. There doesn't seem to be a pattern to it. You don't see any kind of regular pattern. It's very kind of erratic. And then every now and then you'll see like a light flickering, like a monitor light on some of the solar panel sensors. And that does, again, seem somewhat erratic, but nothing. You don't see like flashlights. You don't see any suggestion of there being anybody up here, but that is what you see.
Okay. Well,
Dragon and Professor Dr. Edgar, we are 5 hours and 12 minutes delayed in our arrival here. So this is excellent that we have now disembarked safely. And I would request that we enter as quickly as possible to find our welcoming party here.
Right away. Yes. And I'll wait for Jeremy to kind of lead the way, and I'll be just like right behind him.
Understood. Pressing forward immediately. We strive for your I can't talk tonight. We strive for your satisfaction.
Customer service is your highest priority.
It is.
Guys, look how you guys are talking in corpo speak to each other. There's not even a customer around. There's not even. Dragon, where would you say you're leading everyone to? Is it to the hangar, or did something else interest you?
I would assume you wish to go to the hangar. Is this correct?
Yeah, right. Yeah, right over there.
Understood. We'll go right this way.
You move up to the hangar, you move around, you find there's two entrances. One of them is the hangar doors, these large doors themselves through which you could, again, if you needed to, probably fit your own ship in here. And then a smaller side entrance that is just a normal door, probably for people and such. When you come up to it, there's no trouble. It's not like they're locked or anything like that. You come up and it's probably easier for the three of you to just go through the regular door. And when you come in again, you see that kind of flickering, erratic light. But you do notice that there is a ship that's already parked inside. A small vessel, probably wouldn't fit more than 15, 20 people at most. And you're not even sure. It doesn't look like it has any kind of extra light drive. So more than likely, it's just either a surface to orbital or maybe even just a planetary scouting vessel. But you certainly see that here. You notice that there is on the other side of the ship, there looks to be a series of machinery, like a machine shop of some kind, or like just a collection of machinery behind some like wire link kind of fencing. And then you notice that there is another door, an interior office as well. And you can just see it's currently closed. You can't see inside of it or anything like that.
It's interesting. There's no representative available. Would it be inappropriate to check the ship's most recent logs?
Go for it. I'm curious the last time they took this thing around.
Okay. So you want to climb aboard this little shuttle there, Dragon?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me you can choose either science or muscle probably for this as you try to get on to the ship itself. This time the door does seem to be either, not sure if it's like jammed or if it's just been kind of disconnected from its pneumatics of some kind. But science could be a way of like kind of hacking or thinking your way in. Muscle could just be trying to brute force it.
I would probably go with muscle. My expertise is that I'm a pilot. Might I have a good idea of like some good footholds or handholds or places to grab on to do so?
I think that makes sense here. Yeah. You probably had to creatively access the cockpit at some point before.
Okay. Well, that's a pretty good one. I do have a 1, but then I've got 2 5s and a 6. I'll use my expertise to cancel out the 1, and that still leaves me with 3.
Plenty. Yeah, you're able to get in. And did you use science or muscle? I'm sorry.
Muscle.
Muscle. Okay. Yeah, you're able to like just kind of get maybe is it you find like some kind of release valve, like some sort of release handle that loosens it, and then you're able to just pull and force the door open. With your extra hits there, I would let you know that it certainly seems as though something was done to the door itself. Like this isn't a case of the ship being under power or this being some sort of default security state. It looks like someone sabotaged the door in some way, but you were able to kind of brute force it open without, and like whatever kind of, there might even have been like some kind of sparking mechanism, some sort of like electrical spark that you just kind of ripped right through. It didn't even bother you, but definitely someone did something to this door.
This is most curious. I'm not sure if this is welding or what technique they use, but this door has been sabotaged.
And if you turn around to say that,
can we tell?
If you turned around and kind of said that to both of us, you see that Winifred is just sort of like off to the side a little bit, and she's kind of talking into, sort of the little pad that's usually sort of on the outside of the wrist of, kind of those things. And she's been counting down, and she's just kind of making a recording. And she says, violation of interdepartmental conference protocols 1.7.2. No party should wait more than 5 minutes before being greeted by receiving party. And then kind of like clicks a button and ends that recording and turns around. Were you unable to open the door?
It is open. I just wanted to notate some strange behavior has happened before we got here. It's unclear why this vehicle was sabotaged.
This is most unfortunate. I will wait for the two of you to explore that.
Indeed.
Okay. So what is Dr. Pimsley doing then?
So you said it seems like it was sabotaged in some way. I want to see if it seems like it was from the inside or the outside that they were messing with this, like someone trying to keep it closed or someone like trying to keep themselves inside.
Okay. If you poke your head in, if the two of you peek in, if you go through and look through, you see a fairly standard shuttle. Like I said, there's probably room enough if you move a few things around to fit somewhere between 15 or 20, and that is the complement of the station. You don't see anyone in here, though. Like, there's no one in here. There's no, like, stackings of supplies. It seems depowered. You don't really see, like, when you come in, like, no lights, no running lights come on as you walk through. There's like a cockpit area. There's basic passenger seating, and then there's a small storage room in the back, and then you get into the machinery of it and sort of the lower levels of the ship itself. And as you start like looking around, there's nothing to suggest that anyone seems to have barricaded themselves inside.
Okay.
Is there something you're doing though as you're peeking around?
So it seems like someone tried to prevent people from being able to get into the ship. Like,
that's what it looks like, yeah, so far.
Okay. Nothing in particular. I'm just kind of skimming to see if there's anything that's like odd that was left out or signs of like what people were doing in here the last time they were here. If anything jumps out to me. Was this one of the ships that they would have used to like, because they said that they found something in the ice. Is this like the ship that they would have been using to do that, or?
No, this is more than likely either like an emergency escape vessel, like you're to go up into orbit for retrieval, or it also could possibly have been used for sort of a ground scouting. Okay. Just looking at the shuttle itself, you all would be knowledgeable enough to know that, again, there's no extra light engine on here, so this is all mundane travel. Like, if they tried to, they could cross the system in this, but it would take a very long time. But no, you don't think this? There's nothing to suggest that this is a subaquatic vehicle.
Okay.
What you do notice as you look around, though, Dr. Pimsley, is you do see, especially in the machinery, in like the engine area and up by the cockpit, that there are several panels that have been removed from wherever they were supposed to be, whether it's on a console for the pilot or whether it's on the wall in the engine room. They've been removed. You can see some cables have been torn, and you can see there's like some incessant sparking going on with them.
Torn in a way that doesn't look like they were trying to like. Does it like they were just trying to shut it off as fast as possible, or does it look like they were trying to like harvest stuff out of there? Is there like a lot of slack left in the cables, or?
It doesn't look like they were trying to harvest anything. No.
Okay.
No, it looks like everything that's supposed to be there is there, but stuff was just sort of torn and either like it was like broken intentionally or sabotaged intentionally, and then now it's just sparking. But it doesn't look like they've gutted it.
Okay.
That is an interesting combination that the people that should be stationed here have chosen not to be stationed here, and have also taken the vehicle that was here and placed it in a state to where it could not transport anybody else.
I believe that safety protocols should recommend that we would do a thorough examination of this. So I recommend that the three of us divide ourselves into 3 areas and do a thorough sweep of this craft to ensure that there are no children hiding in panels or other such things that could bring us surprise or possible harm.
Well, you guys do that. I want to try and get this panel back on and see if I can get like a log or something. Like if there's, start wiring it back together.
Okay. So you're going to start doing your best to piece this, to repair, undo the damage. Everyone give me a science test.
Science.
Yes. Joe, how did you do?
I rolled 4 ones.
I feel better now, actually.
Wow.
Okay.
Whoa.
I have a 1 in
So
science.
Oh my god.
You step up to the panel, and obviously it's going to. And so as you do, you get distracted because out of the corner of your eye, you notice something kind of moving in the shadows, like something, just it's, or maybe it's not even is it the shadow that itself that is moving? And then as you do so, you kind of lose sight of where you're putting your hands, and you get this shock that sends you flying back and smashing against like the wall. And so you take a wound right off the bat with that.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
How did you do, Dr. Pimsley?
That was Dr. Pimsley.
I'm sorry, that was Dr. Pimsley. How did you do Dragon? Excuse me.
Dragon, I've got a 6 and a 1, and then a 3 and a 4. But actually, my science is a 3, so I end up having a -1, so to speak.
Okay.
Or,
I'm sorry.
a complication.
1? Okay.
Well,
okay.
I have a positive
you take a point
and
of
2
strain.
negatives. Yeah.
Okay. You pass and you take a point of strain. And don't forget, by the way, tech. Like before you roll, you have to declare it. But don't forget, you can define that at any point. All right. So you take a point of strain. So what happens to Dragon was Dragon in like the engine room with Dr. Pimsley, or was he up by the cockpit, you think?
As soon as there was any mention of searching for anybody that might be hiding, and I mean, he's, tow and rescue. So yeah, of course, he's going to look for the panels where somebody might be hiding.
Okay.
Or maybe trying to seek shelter.
And you're looking through, and then as whatever Dr. Pimsley does, sends this surge of electricity, of power that just cascades through the ship. So right as you pull back a panel, this arc of electricity comes and just catches you right in the face, and your eyes just suddenly start flickering with light here and there. And it takes a few minutes before your eyes kind of settle down, but it's like staring at the sun and then trying to get your eyes back. There's all these weird little like bokeh kind of sort of diffused light spots in your eyes that take a while. So take your point of strain. And then Winifred, how did you do?
So I end up with 2 fumbles, a miss, and a hit. So I'm going to take the hit, but then take back 2 strain.
Okay. And you were kind of standing outside, right? You hadn't actually come on this shuttle yet, right?
Sure, we can say that, yeah.
Okay. you too see something moving, like off to like your left. And you can see somewhere over in like this dark corner where the flickering lights that have been going off here and there don't quite reach. It just looks like something reaches out from the shadow. Like the shadow itself reaches out for you. And like you take maybe a few steps back, and then maybe you bang your head on the back of like the shuttle, like maybe like a hanging, like part of an engine, sort of an engine facet or something like that. And by the time you come back to and you're grabbing the back of your head and there's maybe a little blood, you look out and whatever it was is gone.
Not to alarm anyone, but there also do seem to be some figures outside the ship as well. Are you both okay in there?
What?
Any injuries to log for either? Oh, my. Trigon, what happened to your eyes?
I am calibrating. There was an electrical surge, and I will be fine. Did you see where this other figure came from?
No, from the shadows, a bit. So let's finish our examination of the interior, and then we can move exterior.
I didn't find anything. My injury is I bit my tongue. It's just like a splat of blood in the front of my
no.
the inside of my
That's so
suit.
good.
You're just going to see Winifred come around, and she's just going to kind of point her kind of wrist towards you and just sort of takes a picture of your injury for the log. Noted. And she'll kind of come inside and see if there's anywhere else to kind of check nooks and crannies inside.
And I'll say you all give the interior of this shuttle a very thorough look behind panels and such, and you see no sign of anyone stowing away. You do notice, though, that whatever kind of energy discharge that Dr. Pimsley has created has cascaded throughout the ship and seems to have burnt out most of the panels and the instruments, and this repair, which could have maybe just taken you an hour or so, now could be like literally days and days and days, like replacing and replacing.
This is not your fault. The situation was left untenable. You did your best to attempt to rectify this situation, and I will note that as such. Perhaps now we can see if we can locate the individual that was skulking on the exterior of the ship.
You guys saw somebody?
I did. Yes.
I guess I'll help look for that, like, because you said there was like kind of snowish stuff around. Like, I want to see.
Yeah, but you guys are inside the hangar at this point, so you guys are inside the hangar.
Here. Had it been open? That there was like a drift or anything inside or anything? Okay.
Everything was closed until you all opened like the side door, like not the full hangar bay doors.
Are there cameras or anything that we see?
Not that you've seen, no.
Okay.
Can we say that I kind of go into a briefcasey kind of thing that she's got and that she has? So is there a lack of lighting in here, like shadows and...
Yeah, it's very dark with the exception of the occasional flickerings of light from various lights here and there, but most of the time it's very dark.
So then I would like to define an item of tech that I have is basically some type of... kind of 360-degree flashlight of sorts.
Sure.
To get us some illumination.
Okay. Excellent. So don't forget that when you put it on your sheet, go ahead and just write it in one of your slots. It currently has a bonus of your science plus your culture. So add those two together, and that is the bonus. So if it would ever apply in a situation, that's the plus you could get on a die if you want to use it. But each time you use it, it does deplete.
Okay, so I'm using it now to send some light throughout this hangar.
You only need to use it on a test. It would be only on a test. Like you can have it into
okay.
Just like I wouldn't deplete it just for ambient use. But yes, it'll suddenly bloom, and you can certainly move and look now around the hangar with greater ease. You look into the corner where you saw something reaching out at you. Nothing there. Handful of crates and barrels and things around here. When you go through them, pretty standard stuff. Just a couple bits of replacement parts and such. You notice that there is in the corner. There was that little kind of fencing area, and you can see that seems to be where the lift entrance is. And there is this large kind of cargo lift that seems to descend down. And you also notice that there is a small office up here.
Winifred's drawn to an office, so not seeing anything else here. I am going to check out the office and see if anyone left any requisite notations as to what has been going on here. So she and the light source are going to walk in that direction.
Yeah. It's a very small office, and when you push the door open, you immediately notice that not unlike the shuttle, it has suffered some kind of sabotage, as you see a great deal of destruction has been done to the communications panel. You would imagine that this room was likely used to send long distance communication, because it would probably be fairly difficult for them to do it from a kilometer below the surface. And so all of that, though, has been destroyed. You see that there are 2 light EVA suits hanging on the walls. But other than that, there's nothing else in this room is intact. Even the chair itself has been thrown and one of the legs is bent. But everything seems destroyed.
Well, this would appear, gentlemen, to be deliberate sabotage to limit effective communication out of this station, and to even sit oneself down, though they do say sitting is the new smoking, so we should be standing anyway. But yes, we should make note that there are EVA suits here that were seemingly not destroyed. So if those are needed, we should note that they are here.
Indeed. I'm happy to report that I neither sit nor smoke. I will go check the crates next to where you saw the shadow.
How many people are supposed to be here on this?
The head count was 15 to 20.
Yeah. At any given time. Dragon, you go around and you look at the crates. Like I said before, it's just like various parts and things. You don't seem to find anything of super note. If you want to give me a roll, you can give me if you have a D12, give me a D12.
I think I actually do have a D12 nearby. I do. Okay. 10.
Yeah, you do find an ice pick and some kind of ice climbing gear. So harnesses, crampons, etc., that kind of stuff. But everything else seems to be various machine parts.
Nothing out of the ordinary. I found a pick.
Excellent. You never know when that may come in handy. Have we completed our search of the hangar? Should we proceed to the lift?
Let's go.
I agree with your assessment.
Okay. You all move over. You call the lift, and it's about 10 minutes before it shows up. And when it does, you open it up, and you can see inside of it that it appears at first glance and a close glance to be intact. It is not this is certainly not the most advanced. Its Combina Corp is known to cut some corners here and there, especially when it comes to the repurposing of building materials. The whole hangar itself, including this, kind of looks like it's been constructed with parts probably scavenged from old ships or things like that. But you're able to get inside and begin this long descent Now, you are going about a kilometer down through icy water, slowly, about 10 or 15 minutes. You do have to worry about decompression on your way back up, but the descent is slow and steady. It's also quiet. There's no music going on, and you have your suits on and everything. The elevator itself, however, you could conceivably take them off and breathe if you wanted. You don't actually need your EVA. But as you descend, you can kind of occasionally feel like this jitteriness, this creakiness. You can kind of start to feel the liquid, the water, the sea outside just compressing down here and there in ways that are different from space. It's kind of different vibe than space. It's fairly claustrophobic too. There's no like portal where you can look out. So it's all just kind of this dark capsule with a light that flickers in and flickers out. Eventually, it does stop. You do see, by the way, on the panel that there are 3 options. Surface, so there's an S, and then there's 1 and 2. So there's 2 levels essentially to the actual station itself, but it takes you to the first floor. And after a moment, it sort of opens up, and you look out into a dark room with a handful of like spots for like where there's certainly storage crates and things, familiar looking crates. You got the Conbina logo on a few of these here and there. And the only reason you can really see right now is because Winifred has her light out. Otherwise, everything is very dark. Occasionally you hear the sounds of like a distant flickering, like an electrical, as if something's going in and out. But otherwise, it's extraordinarily dark in here. When you scan around with your light, you do see that it is of an intersection, a 4-way intersection. And there's like these little almost submarine-like door sizes, like these little portals that go in different directions. What are y'all doing?
Does anyone have any schematics on them? It might be something that I might have packed.
Sure.
Okay, then I'll
tell you what. If you can define it as a tech if you want, like you have some kind of like panel, like a
Yeah.
Okay.
I set my muscle to 3, so I've got 3 tech spots. So,
give me a science test. Use that like a corporate. You have like a corporate iPad or something like that. You know, you have a corporate tablet that has all sorts of data on it. Whether they put an updated schematic, who knows? But yeah, give me a roll.
Okay, and so that also then would have a 3 bonus that I can pull from.
Absolutely.
All right, this is a good roll. So my science is a 2, and I got 2 misses and 2 hits.
All right. You would be able to pull up the most recent schematic that you have. Whether or not the station has made any changes, you don't know. They could have rearranged some things. But you do know that on the upper floor, first floor, which you're on right now, there are common areas on. I'm just going to use cardinal directions to make it easy. On the west side of the station, and you know that the east side and the southeast side is more about like kitchen, greenhouse, food storage, that kind of thing. And you also, as you shine around the light, you do see like the universal signs for certain kinds of locations. Like bathrooms seem to be off to the east. You can see that there's like bedroom, like there's like what's it called, like sleeping quarters to the east and to the north. You can see that there's canteen and common area to the west. So you do have a fairly decent understanding of where to go. Kitchens to the south, you know that there's some kind of large observation dome that is connected to the southern side of this station. You know that the lower floor is more for where the work is done. And so there's medical bay, there's various analysis and research rooms. There's certain storage, but not food storage. It's storage, like device storage, life support, engineering, that kind of thing.
And so there's climate here where it's...
Yes, you can definitely tell from like maybe your suits or something like that the atmosphere in here is breathable.
Okay. I'm going to go waft this out of my helmet. It's got blood in it. So I'm going to go to the kitchen and then try and find something to like start scrubbing and cleaning my suit.
Okay, so you head... So we see Dr. Pimsley take the helmet off and start heading south through the capsule, through like the little tight hallway to the kitchen. What about the two of you? Just Dragon and Winifred?
Yeah. I would say I would want to go to the common areas, so to the west, kind of where there should be kind of a grouping of folks.
Excellent idea.
Okay. All right. So the two of you head west through the hall to the next, to like over towards where like the common area and such are, whereas we see the doc go to the south. I'm gonna start with Dr. Pimsley, but this is so you guys leave at the same time. But I'm gonna start with Dr. Pimsley. You walk into the kitchen. You can see that kind of the grimy, almost depleted stamp of like the kitchen on the wall as you pass by. And when you step into it, the light's still flickering, and you probably only have like some sort of basic flashlight on your suit, not something fancy like Winifred has. But even still, you are immediately greeted and nearly slip on a very thick and tacky pool of blood on the floor. Blood stains everywhere. You can see on tables and on counters, and strewn across the walls left and right. And you also notice that on one of the counters there are two cutting boards, and you can see that there are collections and stacks of severed body parts standing and sitting on top of those cutting boards. If you could go ahead and roll a culture test for me to see if you can keep your but keep your cool, in this case, your composure, so to speak.
Okay. All right. Culture?
Yeah.
4-4-2-1. So
Okay.
my culture's a 3. So 2 fumbles.
Okay.
Oh no.
So go ahead and take two strain. As a bit of shock overcomes you, maybe you do in fact slip and fall into as maybe you turn around to move, you slip, you fall into this.
Bite your tongue again.
Like tacky.
Because it's swollen, you're more likely to do it.
Yeah.
It's more blood.
And this is what you see. You don't see anyone in here at the moment, but you do see severed body parts on a cutting board on top of a countertop.
Guys, there's blood everywhere. Guys.
Meanwhile,
We understand. There's no need to be ashamed. Just wash yourself properly.
That was not my blood.
Winifred and Dragon, you move into what looks like a common area, and you notice that there are all sorts of tables spread out here with plates on top of them that appear to have unfinished food. One of them has a card game that has been left there, cards kind of strewn about in disarray. And as you're looking at that card game, and then you go to turn your head to the right, just as you came in, you see on the floor there is what was most likely a dead scientist, because they have a lab coat on, is laying down, and they're stretching out on the floor, reaching towards the door panel that you just came through. And you notice that their hand is like, despite the fact that they're dead and stretching, is like flexing sort of in this rhythmic fashion. You see it flexing and moving. You notice also, as you kind of stumble away, that there are a couple of dead bodies that seem to be piled in the far corner on the other side of some of these tables that have been kind of just stacked together also suddenly twitching and twitching. If I could get the two of you to go ahead and make culture tests here to sort of withstand the shock of this moment.
My goodness. Oh my gosh. Nerves of steel.
Okay. You're from HR. You've seen worse.
Yeah.
The reports you read.
You have to watch OSHA videos.
Very true. 3 hits, 1 miss, no fumbles.
All right, you're all set. What about you, Dragon?
No miss.
Okay, the two of you keep your cool at the shock of this moment, and then you hear the sounds of one of those dead bodies in the corner is like. It's got this gurgling sound. And as you watch it, you realize that the gurgling sound is like in sync with the twitching. And like, as you like maybe take a step or two back from that, Winifred, like you, maybe the slightest of starts as you suddenly hear the sounds of a voice. Welcome to Kanban vending machines. Please input your selection now. We have an array of different sorts of meat tubes. And then you look behind you, there's a vending machine of like a corporate vending machine that suddenly just spoke up and started talking, but otherwise didn't seem to harm you.
Oh, my word. Dragon, can we get a body count here of how many of our employees seems to have been deceased? And could you also start a recording of whatever this vocalization is? That seems like the thing that we would want to put in our report.
That seems like a good idea. I did take some damage to my optical sensors earlier. Am I incorrect in in assuming that all visual evidence indicates that these individuals are deceased, despite moving?
I would say most visual evidence. Moving is one of the items in our policy regarding assessment of life or death. Movement is one of the assessments that indicates life is still ongoing. However, I do believe there is a preponderance of evidence to the contrary. Excess blood, injuries, and general foul odor indicating death.
Yeah, if there's so
I will
much
poke the
blood in
bodies with my pickaxe and count them.
Professor,
It's like Jimmy Jr. from Bob's Burgers.
There's blood everywhere.
she, Winifred sort of turns off sort of the broadcast a little bit and sort of goes over closer to Edgar. Edgar, does it not sound as if...
Hang on.
Oh.
Edgar is in a completely different room from you. Edgar went south, you went west, you guys haven't...
No, sorry, Dragon. Sorry.
Okay.
Winifred moves toward Dragon in the room, so turns off the communicator over to Edgar. Dragon, does it not sound as if Edgar's vocalizations are a bit similar to what we are hearing from these deceased or perhaps not deceased bodies here? Do we think something could have already happened to him?
I think, in fairness, he simply bit his tongue. He is a buffoon.
So over in the kitchen, Dr. Pimsley, the lights flicker on. And you suddenly hear this static when they try to communicate with you, or maybe when you try to communicate with them. Like you've taken your helmet off, but your helmet's probably nearby, and you maybe got your earpiece in or something like that. But you just hear like this long static that's kind of irritating. I need you to roll a science test.
Okay. That's a little better. 6-3-1-1. So only one fail.
1 point of strain.
Yeah.
As the communications are a little spotty right now between you and your fellow court members, and you also feel this like sudden compulsion to just reach back and just hit the light panel and turn these lights off, as it does give you a far better look at the absolute disarray and just the gore in this kitchen currently. Okay. Back in the common area. I heard something about an ice pick. What were you doing with the ice pick?
I mean, just using it to kind of like test reflexes, so to speak, and also take account, because I was asked to get a body count, and that's exactly what I'll do.
So you go over to that pile that's kind of twitching and gurgling.
Use it to kind of like gently like hook under a leg or an arm here and there and kind of pull them, so you can kind of get a more legitimate count. As
you go to pull them, you realize like they continue to twitch, but you also see bizarre stitching here and there, as if parts of their body, like a hip is attached to a back, a leg is sort of connected to the chin of another. And as you try to unravel them, the twitching turns to ambulation, and you just see this pocket, this big mass of 4 bodies just suddenly start to and lunge at you with these limbs in places that they should not be. Faces kind of merge together. You see a random nose like sticking out of the palm of this like 3-fingered claw coming at you. And we're going to go into a confrontation.
Yay.
I've made a huge mistake.
I mean, you were just following orders. So really.
It's fine.
All right. Okay, so you're going to get the first go here, Dragon.
Okay.
Because this thing's coming right at you. What is it you like to do?
Yeah, oh God. That's just horrific.
Indeed. Very, 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 very much so.
And so I get asked about my age.
What?
Which can do.
I think his initial thing is to just try and defend himself, because he's not fully understanding what's going on just yet. But this seems wrong. I had a couple of ideas of what my tech was going to be. I don't know if I'll actually burn the tech yet. Can you choose to burn it after you make your roll?
You got to say it before you roll.
Yeah, call it ahead of time? Okay.
Yeah. It's technically true of items as well, but we play it pretty loose. But yeah.
Yeah. I'll define what it is just for now, because I was going to say it was from a salvage kit. And just imagine the equivalent of like a Jaws of Life that can be, backpack maintained, because it's meant to saw through doors and get people out if you need to.
Sure.
So as this giant ambulating monstrosity comes out, he just taps something on the back, and out comes a little arm that he can like hook his arm into. Has a giant saw on it.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds great.
I believe we need to cut this problem down to size.
Go ahead, give your roll. Okay. I know you have muscle at 1, so that means
it's a 5. It's one item at 5.
You have a plus 5 to one of your die after this.
Okay. Oh, get back here.
Yep, you dropped a die. So excited.
I know. I'm really happy for that, because that'll take I've got a 6 and a 5, and then a 4 and a 1. I'll add my plus 5 to that 1, turn it into a 6, so I can have 3 successes.
3 hits. Okay. And so you just start shearing through some of these bodies, assuming obviously you're using those 2 to continue the threshold. But yeah, you just shear through them. You're not sure if you're like cutting apart like the actual bodies, but you're cutting through flesh. You see an arm just flop to the ground. You see a leg just kind of cut off this way, a foot as well. All these pieces just begin to flop down as you carve through it. But as the blood explodes into your face and you kind of wipe your eyes for a bit, and you think you've done good work, you see one of the other stitched together torsos and arms reaches down and picks up one of the severed legs that you have just cut, and then just starts to beat you viciously with it. So I'm going to retaliate.
He's beating me with his own arm.
Yeah,
I'm so happy.
It's like my favorite, and it is recent PC. Okay, give me a science test. This is it's backing you kind of into a corner. You hear the sudden flickering of a light behind you. You see behind you that there is like a bare panel, and there's like little wires and things sticking out. And if you were to touch it, it would probably get into your android circuitry as well.
Oh no. Okay, that's not so bad. I've got 2 hits, 2 misses. I'll do a wash on one, and maybe I'll take a success. Oh no, I just need to.
A miss isn't a fumble.
Okay.
Yeah. So what's your science?
My science is a 3.
Yeah. So
2 5s. Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
2 5s
so if you
and 2
roll
3s.
Oh, okay. So then, yeah, if that's the
That's
case,
what I mean.
Okay. So
Or
you'll
2 fumbles. I should
you'll
have said 2
pass.
fumbles and 2 misses.
Gotcha. Okay. So you pass. You take
But
1 point
take
of
a
strain. Yeah, and so maybe like you manage to get out of the way of like the swinging of the leg, but that's when your back goes up against that panel and you feel like a little short circuit go through some of your android circuitry. And there's this moment, Winifred, when you just see him kind of seize, but there is a giant hulking bleeding mass of at least 4 different people that has pinned him now into the far corner. Winifred, I think it makes sense. What are you doing? You're in here.
So Winifred, being who she is going to kind of tap her wrist and just say, for the record, lethal escalation procedure has been initiated, and we'll kind of give the date and time due to clear escalation by reconstituted bodies. And she kind of like looks that recording shut. She's going to reach back into kind of her corporate kit that she has. And I imagine she has sort of like a stun stick that she kind of pulls out and like, kind of like whips it out to kind of extend it.
Nice.
And then that's what she's going to use to kind of go after
Excellent.
this mass of things.
Write it in your text slot as you come in to try to help out your friend Dragon, or your fellow employee Dragon.
Coworker. Science roll?
A good employee is like a friend.
Sure, you're using a specific piece of tech to do it. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Okay, so I am using a piece of tech which I am burning 1 use of so that I can get a +3, which is my science plus culture. Because I rolled 2 fumbles and 2 misses. So I'm going to use the +3 to turn one of those fumbles into a hit.
Okay. Okay. So you come up, this stun baton, you put it into one of the very many places on its kind of fleshy back. You see the thing suddenly jerk as the electricity courses through it. But an arm that's just randomly stitched to somewhere in the body just swings back and hits you, and you get a strain back. And then it's going to retaliate. It's going to do it's going to do a harass attack. It's going to go against recent PC, and it's going to be another science roll as it reaches down and it's trying to like with one of its arms is trying to like swat you in the head, but with like you can see a second arm is coming up from somewhere below and is trying to reach around and grab that stun baton and wrench it free as well. So give me a defense roll there.
Okay. Wow, my goodness. So that is 1 fumble, 2 misses, and 1 hit.
Okay. Were you using your stun baton in this? Because it would be reasonable to say if you wanted to. It does mean every time you use it, you deplete the bonus. So the first time you use it, you got your, what was it, 3? I think it was a 3. The second time
3
it's going to be
total,
a 2.
so now it's down to a 2. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to say no.
Okay. All right. So what's the results here?
So basically, I have 1 hit to cancel out 1 fumble, and so I fail.
Okay. All right. So you will take a point of strain as it grabs your wrist, and you can feel it just crunching down, and you're losing feeling in the hand that you have wrapped around the baton.
Which is actually a wound.
Is it? Okay. So you feel like maybe like a broken wrist or something like that, or a fractured wrist.
Yep.
It's around this time, over in the kitchen, Dr. Pimsley, that the static, even though it lingers, you suddenly hear voices and you hear the sounds of Winifred and Dragon. They seem to be in some kind of trouble.
Okay. Do I see anything that could be like like a chair or just anything that I could hold as a weapon as I run over.
Give me a D12.
D12. Okay.
Yeah. Or 2d6s is fine.
I got a 6.
You rolled the d12 and got a 6. That's funny.
A 6? Yeah, there's definitely the cleaver that's on the ground.
Okay.
Right next to where it was like severing the various limbs on the cutting board.
I'll pick it up and run down the hallway.
Okay. You rush down the hallway. Give me one quick second just to check something here. You go rushing through the hallways, and as you do, all of the lights in the hall. So you leave the kitchen, which you had turned off. Then you go into the hallway, which has these like emergency lights, and then into that landing area where the elevator came down. All lights suddenly go completely and utterly black. Give me a science roll as you try to navigate, and even your little crappy ass flashlight on your wrist suddenly flickers out as well, and you're in utter blackness. Give me a science roll to just keep your cool, navigate your way back.
Okay. 5, 5, 4, 1. So
Okay.
2 successes, 1 fumble. I'll cancel up fumble.
Yeah.
1 net success.
You stumble in, okay, and you kind of feel your way through. You hear the sounds of both Dragon and Winifred kind of calling out to one another, and you're able to kind of follow the sounds of their voices in that common room. The lights also did seem to just flicker out, and then they come back on as like Pimsley arrives. And Pimsley, you see getting backed into the corner. There is Dragon being attacked by an amalgamation of limbs and flesh and torso. Blood on the ground. You can see some of those arms and legs that have been severed are twitching. You can see that Winifred has tried to come up to help him, and she seems to be in some kind of grapple as she has her stun baton out. You hear the sounds of the whirring of Dragon's like jaws of life kind of gear, the zzz, as he's trying to cut through some of these limbs. What would you like to do?
What the hell was that? I'm going to run over and try and cleave at it.
Okay, absolutely.
Please help. This hurts.
I'll roll an attack. Okay. 5, 4, 4, 2. And then 2 is my muscle, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can hit with that 5. Take a little strain back.
Yeah. That's my second wound.
It's up to you. You could just fail and just you come up, you miss, and that's it.
Yeah, I think I'll do that. I don't want to take a second wound just yet.
Totally fair. You come up, you go to swing, and one of these arms just lifts up this long leg, this heavy femur, and as you swing down, you just like hack into a severed leg being used to parry you, and are unable to do any damage to the central mass.
More blood on my suit.
Retaliate. Okay, so here we go. All right, this is going to be a kill attack. This is going to be on who's got the most wounds. I think both of you have one. Okay, it's going to be on both of you then.
Yep.
You're going to use culture as right. So for both of you, what happens is you hack into this leg, Dr. Pimsley, like the cleaver gets stuck and it like wrenches it free for a second and then swings the leg and the cleaver all at once down on you, pummeling you.
Oh no.
And then you, Winifred, as you're trying to wrestle back your baton, it does this kind of slow turn, and you can see the shorting of the stun baton like coming right up to your face as both of you are having your weapons literally turned against you in this moment. Make some culture rolls. Don't forget, before you roll, if you have tech slots left, you could come up with some kind of tech. You could define your tech as being some kind of protective EVA, some sort of special EVA gear that's like armor. You could kind of have some sort of like stim connector that suddenly shoots in situations of great stress, a stim into you that suddenly jolts you and allows you to move more quickly. All these things are potentially there. I would also throw this out to Dragon and only Dragon, because he's not being targeted here. If you wanted to assist, you also could, but that obviously does put you at risk as well. But that is, you're the only one who could, since this effect is hitting both of them. They wouldn't be able to help each other. But you would only be able to help one of them, too.
That's a good point.
I'm going to say
obviously
that I'm going to use my my tech. So I would like to use my flashlight. And I would imagine that there's some type of like strobing setting.
Sure.
And so I kind of want to use that to like distract
disorient. Okay. Yeah. I'm okay with that. And what about you there, Pimsley? Is there anything you're using here?
I'm gonna say, so it's attacking me back with the cleaver.
Yeah, you can have the cleaver. That's me flavoring. I'm not stealing your item from you. If that is an item that you put on your sheet, you can still use it. You can just grab it as it's coming at you and swing back. Like I'm
just gonna say my suit's like extra durable. Like it's got some more kind of mesh and stuff woven into it. So
absolutely, so just write it down in your sheet. What is your science? What are your science and culture attributes?
1 and 3.
So you have 4. So the first time you use it right now, you're going to have a +4 to one of your die after the roll.
Jeez. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have a +3
It'll deplete
on the flashlight.
each time you use it. Mm-hmm. All right. Was Dragon going to help anybody out?
I just didn't want to interrupt, but yes, obviously you help the customer, which in this case is our HR rep. Customer satisfaction is key, so I'll absolutely be assisting her.
AKA
take a point of strain
ass.
as you like have to reach through this thing, and you get like battered with various appendages.
Maybe he's trying to pull one of its limbs into the electrical socket that just shocked him.
Absolutely, that sounds great. And you're just straining and straining. Your whole system is kind of cascading as the electricity courses through it, and then that means you get an extra die, Winifred, and you get to count 4s as hits. Okay. So we're gonna start with Winifred then. How'd you do?
Okay, so straight roll, I got 2 hits, 2 misses, and 1 fumble. So I've got both the assist, which I didn't get any 4s, but I did use my flashlight, which gives me a +3. So that's what I can do. So I can take the fumble, add the +3, which turns it into a 4, which because I was being assisted is a hit. And so then I get 3 hits.
Okay, so you get 3 hits. Yeah, I just imagine that, like the math meme. But yeah, like 3 hits is fantastic. And it works kind of like how you say it. It's like you get, like your arm is being, it's trying to get you with one of your arms, like back in your face with the stun baton, and you're able to get the other one up just in front. Yeah,
I've got the blinking flashlight that sort of like goes off.
Yeah, and that light seems to bother it as its eyes, like these bleeding red eyes, just suddenly turn this way and that. And like one half of the face and the other half of the face are clearly 2 different people stitched together into one. And you can see they throw their head back, and you're able to not just because you had 3, right? So that means you can use 2 to further the threshold. But they throw their head back, and then that sends the whole body like into that panel that Dragon was trying to push them into, and then suddenly you see this jolt of electricity as they take some damage. Dr. Pimsley, how did it go for you?
All right, I rolled 2, 5, 5, 5, and then I got a +4 from my suit, so 6, 5, 5, 5.
That's phenomenal. So that's 1 success, and then the extra 3 that you can put towards the threshold. Phenomenal. And so, so this thing just starts wailing and wailing, but you notice as it starts hitting you, like your like whatever these sort of reactive ablative plates that you have built into the EVA suddenly turn on, and you hear the sounds of bones crunching as it's swinging these arms and these legs, and as like the forearm hits your suit, it suddenly cracks, and you just see the hand go limp, and the leg comes down that's being used as a bludgeon, and that just cracks, and then the ankle hangs limply from where it fractured, and so all of this like wailing meat on you just continues to break and fracture bone. It is still
more and more soaked in blood.
And blood everywhere. It's a new round. Everyone is gone. Who would like to go? Any order?
Don't have anything.
Go ahead. I'll assist you, Jeremy. Whatever you want to do,
Okay.
I'll help.
Yeah, I think at this point, like chopping it up didn't feel like it was as good as he was hoping it would be. So he's hoping maybe shocking it will do more. So I think it is kind of like continuing to try and wrestle more chunks of it into the panel, just bodily pressing, like as maybe a broken limb breaks across his suit, kind of leveraging that to kind of like flip more of it into this.
I like it.
So,
Okay, and you're getting assisted.
Yeah,
So an extra
and so
die.
I'll take the strain for that. And can I flavor keep using the flashlight, or do I need to actually spend down on the
You can
flashlight?
flavor it, but it's not going to have a mechanical impact.
Sure,
The only time
that
we
works.
worry about depleting it is when you're mechanically gaining a benefit.
Get the benefit. Okay, perfect.
ooh, man, this system's so awesome. So good. Okay, so I don't care about that 2 because my brawn is a 1. But then I've got a 3. I don't like that 3, but I like my 2 4s and I like my 5, so I'll get 3 successes.
All right. Describe how you defeat this thing, Jeremy. You describe it.
I think it's very much like a culmination of all 3 people's things. Like it's limbs breaking across the doctor's suit, using those broken limbs as leverage to toss into the electricity. It's being stunned, so like its eyes are being flashed. That's what gives Dragon the chance to kind of step into place and do it. And it's just kind of the sort of thing of like just pressing it against it and holding it until eventually it sizzles out.
And it sizzles out, and then the lights flicker out from like whatever short that happens as you push it against the panel. But then when like they flicker back on in like the emergency setting where you get just enough light in here, you realize this big hulking mass is now inert for the most part. Like its hands are twitching and its feet are twitching, but none of its arms are moving. It's not making any other sudden moves. It seems to, at least right now, be defeated.
And Winifred just starts sort of like wailing in pain at this fractured wrist that she has. This is a little beyond what normally happens to her in her day-to-day. And so she's just like, this hurts. This hurts so very much.
I'm terribly sorry. Let me create a modified splint, and he'll break off the head of the pickaxe and just take the handle of it, rip off some clothing off one of these things, and just like create a crude splint for you using that.
That is not at all the splint that we have in our procedures, but this does bring comfort, and I do believe my wrist is in the perfect position. Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you, Dragon.
Of course. Your satisfaction is very important to us. I wonder, did these things stitch them? How were these stitched together? There's like that little bit of curiosity of like,
Sure.
does it look like actual stitching, or is it like some weird like stuff was like?
It very much looks like actual stitching. Like somebody has used proper like crisscross, like that kind of cross stitching kind of thing. Some of it looks to be done with wire. Some of it looks to be done with like medical stitching. So there's like a mixture of the materials that were used, but it definitely seems to be physically stitched together with some kind of binding string of some kind. Yes.
That is very concerning.
Dr. Edgar, did you see a similar scene when you went to the kitchen?
Yeah, there's a lot of bodies, and it's bad. They weren't moving though.
these were emitting a certain tonal pattern. Dragon, were you able to record that before we were so rudely attacked?
Maybe? I'm not sure like how that fits into, because I've only got the one tech item.
Yeah. I mean, you didn't really call it out, so I'm going to say no.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Because we were sort of getting this like
Yeah.
vocalization from them in a pattern that like matched the light, if I remember correctly.
The other thing, just before we get too far from this, you all can hit recovery. So in this version of the game, you actually have two options. You can either do the standard recovery, take 2 strain, recover 2 strain if you have the ability to do so, or you can actually replenish one of your tech. Back up to your max bonus.
Back up to max bonus.
Yeah.
That's
what I'm playing around
nice.
with. We'll see how the testing goes. If it's too much, then we'll see. I will say that there is there's a class of danger that this version of the game introduces that has an exterminate ability that interacts with tech, and you can sacrifice tech to avoid some of the effects, and the effects can be pretty harsh. So that's one of the reasons why keeping tech around is really good, because if you run into these types of dangers, that's one of the best ways to avoid dying to those.
Okay.
But just keep that in mind.
Winifred would like to recharge her stun stick.
Sure.
Back to full.
Absolutely. She spent the next couple of minutes just for sure.
I'm taking the strain.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I have to remove the strain.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I couldn't remove 2 full because I had a wound plus 1 strain. So I was like, I'll just leave the 1 on there and take the tech.
So, as you all are taking stock, you look around the room. You don't really see any additional things moving about. Vending machine. There's like some basic consoles that you think are probably like entertainment consoles of some kind. You do see that there are passageways north and south out of here that seem to continue off into other like common areas. Looks like off to the north there's some kind of off to the south there's some kind of bar. Like you can see like there's like a makeshift canteen of some kind. As you peek through, the lights flicker on, and like to the north again you just see it almost looks like a library reading area, that kind of thing. So like this whole western side has like these 3 pods that are interconnected that all has a mixture of things for sitting and eating, sitting and resting, reading, watching various hollows on the consoles in here, that sort of thing.
And is it accurate based on what happened before that the consoles in here are now also dead, or are they powered, or was the whole power outage just a ship?
From what you've observed, there's a lot of power surging and flickering going on. Things are on, things are off, things are on, things are off. Nothing really seems to stay on consistently, but nothing ever stays completely off. When it is off and dark, occasionally it'll be a flickering or something like that. But yeah, there's not consistent on or off right now. And I will say that Pimsley, your comms still have that static going.
Okay. Earlier you said that I felt compelled to hit the light off. Is that just like a fear thing, or does it like I felt something about
faded.
the tech of it?
It faded. It was like this sudden compulsion when the light flicked on that you wanted to turn the light off.
Okay.
It's hard to read in more than that, but it was just like this sudden and overwhelming urge to do so.
Okay.
Should we continue our thorough search of this floor?
Yes.
Perhaps. I'm curious if there are any entries by the crew here, or...
Certainly. If a console comes back up long enough for you to search that would be good information.
Seems like one person's been busy with the cleaver and some stitching, so...
Well, but that was several bodies, which, even for a person of a mind to do so, it would be difficult work, and there's still the question of why it syncs with the the energy of the other devices, the synchronicity.
That is most curious. If you want to check the consoles in here, it seems that we've taken care of everything in here. Perhaps Pimsley and I will move on to the next room.
Let's go.
I'll stay with you in case there's more disturbing things to be found.
Is there like breakers or something we can throw?
Not in the room, but you imagine yes. You do know from your HR's tablet in the schematics that the lower floor does have like a life support mechanics room where probably everything kind of funnels to. Okay, so in this like you could kind of go north and search a little bit further, south and search a little bit further. You know that you can also retrace your steps. Like which way are you going?
North from where we are.
Okay. So you kind of continue into that kind of reading nook area. You can see there's a series of texts and hollow texts on the wall. A lot of disarray. There's a lot of stuff has been pulled off and kind of broken on the ground. In some cases, there's old school actual physical books that have been torn apart in places. There's signs here and there of a little bit of blood, but it's not nearly as horrific as you've seen in other places. There is a ladder going down here. You do see like there's an emergency hatch. The hatch itself, like the floor panel has been wrenched up, and the actual hinge itself seems to have suffered some damage, and so it doesn't kind of flop back into place correctly. But you do see that there is a ladder that goes down, more than likely to the second level. There's also the elevator that goes down, but you do see that. And then there is another one of these passageways, these little connecting hallways that heads eastward. From your schematic, Winifred, you would know that's kind of sleeping quarters, bathrooms, that kind of thing, off to the east.
You were asking about the breakers or such. Should we finish our examination of this floor, or should we go down?
I'm just worried that it's feeding off the electrical stuff and that's causing it. But maybe I'm not sure which way it goes. I don't know if the electricity is causing the bodies to act weird or the bodies are causing the electricity to act weird. But I would like to shut off everything.
I trust your assessment. That makes sense. If we were able to get more stability, that would help us in our search. So down the hatch we go?
I think so.
Okay. If you start climbing down, it's totally fine. You would know that from your schematic, there are 2 living pods up here, and then attached to the kitchen, there is the like kind of food storage, freezer, that kind of thing. So other than that, you have gone to, I would say, half of this floor. Okay, so if you want to descend, you do so. And you go down the steps, the hatch on the bottom level, that seems to be intact still. It doesn't seem to have suffered damage, or if it has, it's been repaired. But you're able to spin and push, and you hear, and it opens up, and you see a flickering bit of light below. Who's first? And do you just drop down? Okay. Do you just drop down, or do you like stick your head down and look first?
Probably look first, or if the light thing can give any light, that's nice.
Okay. Yeah. If you stick your head down,
makes sense to take a look first, and then
it looks like a medical bay. Like you can tell that much. It's got various med cabs and devices. You can see that there are like life monitoring tablets and such is kind of thrown around. However, it's in a very bad state of disarray. One of the things you note is it looks like there's another kind of stack of various bodies in one of the corners, similar to what you saw inside of the cantina there. And it also looks more centralized on top of various med tables. Some kind of coagulated bloodbath, like chunks of body parts here and there that haven't yet been situated. It's like someone is experimenting with shapes and connectivity. You note too that there is a very lifeless looking humanoid laying on one of the tables, and they seem like unnaturally stretched. Like all of their extremities have just been pulled and stretched to distances that they shouldn't be. And you also notice that they have been stitched, so they might not even be the original extremities of whoever this might have been. That's what you see.
After sticking his head down, seeing all that, Dragon would just like very sadly put his arms out and push both of you away from the entrance. I believe there's some information you need to be aware of in that room. And then just describe all of that in very blunt but horrifying detail.
Oh, my word. This is most distressing. And I feel like Winifred in the back of her mind is just like racking up like the dollar and the dollar and the dollar of like the payouts that are going to happen to like employees, families, and whatnot. This is most distressing. Did you say there were tablets that perhaps we could pick up and examine and read?
That is, yes, there's a good likelihood of that. However, I fear that we will have another altercation if we enter in an attempt to do so. Perhaps this is even a place where much of the stitching happened earlier.
Perhaps, though, Dr. Edgar, did you not tell us that the cleaver in the kitchen was also used to...
Yeah, someone had been going to town on body parts, chopping stuff up, and yeah.
Coordinated effort across multiple departments. Generally,
doesn't look
ideal
like they got
teamwork.
into the stitching.
Not in this situation.
Yeah, in that room.
If it is your desire to go in and gather further information, I will go in first.
I will be right behind. She
as you say
stun
that,
stick.
all of your lighting equipment, your fancy piece of tech, your crappy flashlights, the various lights in the med bay below, completely and utterly flicker out, and it is suddenly and utterly black.
Oh, bother.
Both of you that haven't already felt this effect, you suddenly hear on your comms, even if you have them in your ears, or if you like have them hanging down, or if you're just carrying your EVA helm, you just hear a static go.
What is happening? What is... And she's like hitting that flashlight. Like, come on. Then she's like, stupid, cheap. Can't see anything. Hello?
Is it still static on like the comms and things?
Static on your comms, and all the lights are out. And as you're talking, and you're like, hello, you suddenly hear a sound from below, from the med bay. You just hear black hole, hell, black hole, hell, water, ice, black hole, hell, hello, died in black hole. Mary had a little lamb, big lamb, and it's flickering. Suddenly starts to come with lights, and then all of your lights suddenly brighten to the greatest illumination that you can possibly have, sending like your eyes are just suddenly watering, those of you who can tear up. And when they fade down, you can see against one of the walls down here, there is a scientist, bloodied, wearing some kind of lab coat. You can see just huge just huge terrors in their face and their arms. And they're just babbling along the wall. Mary had a little lamb, a big lamb, a gargantuan lamb, a titan lamb, and over. And they're just slumped against the wall, just a few feet away from where that mass of tangled, fleshy bodies are in the corner.
I would say Winifred is just going to kind of descend and kind of go towards this individual. Identify yourself.
Mary had a little lamb, a big lamb, a gargantuan lamb.
Enough of that. I said identify yourself.
Ogre, titan, lamb, dark, black hole, black hole, black.
I'm just gonna say everyone we found was dead. There's no hope.
That would be an incomplete report. And I want to see if there's like a name on the lab code or anything like that.
Yeah. You look at the name code, and you look at the lab coat, and you'll see a kind of a smudged and bloodied ID card that seems to be like tucked into, like maybe pinching one of the pockets. Dr. Zhang.
And that was not the doctor from before. Dr. Zhang, get a hold of yourself. And she's going to snap, clap, whatever, kind of like right in front of their face.
Heaven, black, hell, white, heaven, little lamb, big lamb, godly lamb.
Is this
seems to not respond to your snapping even a little bit?
She will shake this individual. She's also trying to assess, like, are they hooked up to something? Are they just sort of themselves leaning against a wall? So she's kind of shaking them, and then also while she's shaking them,
they're just leaning against the wall.
Okay.
Yeah, they're just slumped against the wall, like they're not grabbing anything.
Okay, I'm just trying to see physical contact kind of gets their attention a little bit.
You physically touch them?
Yes. Yeah, shake them.
They look at you. Holiday. Black hell.
Not holiday. Working
lamb,
day. Work day.
Big lamb. Large lamb. Black hell. Blah. And then continues to just babble.
Can I say one of my pieces of tech is like anxiety medication or something like that? It's just like a syringe of it.
Like an injection.
Sure.
Yeah.
If you like. Do you hop down?
Yeah.
Okay, you hop down. Do you want to use one of your tech?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Jam something in, like an and they black hill. Titan, static, lamb, god, ogre.
Feeling all right, buddy?
Head just droops down. You see like a bit of drool, just this long, thick bit of drool just suddenly starts to slip out of its mouth.
Does he have like any blood or anything on him? Does he look like he's been stitched? Do I see anything concerning about?
Do you search his body a little bit? You kind of like go through it. You do notice that he has what looks like a little like lab book inside of his inside of his coat. You notice wounds, but you don't see stitching. Doesn't look like anything has been adhered to him, but he definitely has suffered some wounds. But yeah, you see like a little lab book of some kind.
Okay. I'll pull that and start trying to rifle through it, see what I can see.
It at first looks like a really mundane data collection of It's like monitoring something outside, signals, systems, and it's just like this daily logging of that data, just numbers and columns and numbers and columns. And then at a certain point, it's just that goes away, and you just see these drawings inside, like just covering the whole page, like these thick, heavy, black pencil drawings depicting a dark mass of like slithering tendrils. And you flip the page and there's another, and you flip the page and there's another, and you flip the page and there's another. And the data seems to stop being entered.
Well,
anything useful,
we can
Doctor?
have this for the report. I guess it's another data point that he went crazy. He's just drawing a bunch of like tentacles and stuff.
Well, perhaps we might locate one of those data pads that we referenced earlier, and we can look at the date that the drawings began and correlate that to perhaps an entry regarding an experiment that was being performed, or observation.
I'm also curious if there was a signal. Does this match anything that we knew about the discovery from Dr. Bayarda?
Yeah, you would. Okay. It would take a little time to read through this. It's a very, there's a lot of data. So I would treat this as a task. So that means staying inside of this horrifically awful, terrible room with light flickering on and off and bodies nearby. Would you want to do a task here?
I think we should gather as much information as we can, so Winifred would be up for that.
Then I'm up for it.
Does it have to be done in this room, or can we find like a more secure
you can move.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you can move. I'm not necessarily saying the rooms next to this are secure. You'll see when you get there. But yeah, you don't have to do it here if you don't want to.
Yeah, I mean, there isn't anything immediately attacking us right here. So perhaps
there's a twitching mass of bodies to the side, not unlike what you saw up in the cantina. And there's that unnaturally long, stretched out body on top of one of the tables.
Is there anything for me to like tie that body down in the room?
Which body? Like the one on the panels,
or
the one on the
elongated one?
The bed. Yeah. Give me a D12 or a 2D12 or 2D6. Excuse me.
A 1 and a 2.
3 total. You do notice that there were some kind of medical straps, but they have been kind of torn and ripped and are kind of scattered about in some of the debris. You could potentially like stitch them together maybe, but like it doesn't have as like effective an outcome as you probably would want.
Okay. Is there like a chair or something heavy I can just like put on top of them?
Yeah, there's definitely a stool, like a medical stool, the kind of thing like a doctor would wheel over on. Yeah.
I'll just do that. Put that on him. Even if it doesn't hold him down, it'll be loud if he tries to move.
You pick the stool up, you place it down on that stretched out body, and you just see it starts to make a little bit of a gurgling sound. And as it does, you see its arms and legs in concert with the gurgling cadence seem to stretch just even further, as if it's just reaching out. And then its legs are like reaching back. And then ultimately it settles.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I like that, guys.
Researching did you want to do again in here, Dr. Edgar?
Oh, I thought you were wanting to do more in here.
Oh, well...
You do see that there are 2 exits out of here. From your knowledge of the layout, you know that there are a variety of labs east of here. You do notice, though, that there are on the door that would enter into that, it is closed, and you do see a message has been smeared on that door, and it says, "Do not disturb." And if Dragon were to look at it, he would recognize that the fluids seem to be the internal fluids of an android, a chrome like yourself. Then there is a door that goes to the south into to be a communications center. You know that it's communication for down here, like internal communication, and your knowledge of their stations, that they do actually have a submarine that explores down here as well. And likely that's what this connects to, or at least that's what it's kind of communicating to, but that's what the communication center is for. There is a medical terminal in here, like a little computer off to the side. It's got a cracked screen, but otherwise that seems to be intact. And then you have the ladder going up.
Winifred would like to take a look at the medical terminal.
Sure. Go over during one of these moments where the power seems to be on. Sure.
So I would like to just kind of see what I can see in kind of the data here.
You boot it up. You see a kind of a fractured prism-like display that shows the logo of your company, Convin. It also seems to want a medical login to access any files, but it does seem like the system's working. It's like a medical terminal, like it's likely what's logging the medical files of the various people who work here.
Can I, for like username, is it likely there's like a standardized username that kind of gets created by corporate, so we know that there's this doctor here, that I might be able to get past at least sort of like the username with, first name, last initial, or some such.
If you want to get into this, you would need into the medical terminal. You would need to make a science test, and I would want 2 hits.
Okay. Can I spend down my corporate tablet for something that I might have in here?
Sure.
For like
some
a
kind of
reset
protocols?
protocol, something. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Makes sense.
Okay. Oh my word. Glad I spent that. Okay, so I at that point had a bonus of 2 before I spent it down. I rolled a 1, a 1, a 4, and a 6 on the science. So I would like to make one of those fumbles simply a miss. So then I've got 1 hit and 1 fumble. I'll take the fumble so that I get a success.
You need 2 hits to be able to do this.
Okay. I will turn the 4 into a 6 so that I have 2, and then I'm taking 2 back.
Okay. 2 strain?
Yep.
Okay. Maybe what happens while this is going on, you hear the stretched body like extend and their hand just suddenly settle on your shoulder as you're typing.
Yeah.
So you get this little surge of adrenaline coursing through you, but you're able to cut into you get in here. You can see a list of the various names of the 17 people that appear to have been assigned here, and their various medical files. At first glance, a lot of it just seems pretty standard, like what concerns are there, any people taking medications, like making sure that they have like a profile, like a medical and psych profiles, things like that. Going through it would take time, and you are certainly welcome to do so, but it will take time.
Is technology set up in such a way that I can sort of like send this to my tablet so that I kind of have the information?
Yeah.
I have access to the information, but not right this minute.
Yeah, I'm okay with that for sure. You can download this to your tablet. Yeah, all medical files of all personnel. Sure.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you for that time. I was able to gather what I think we need. If you both would like to venture forward, we can do that. Do we think we would be able to take this gentleman with us? We should probably not leave a still alive and in all one piece employee here.
He'll be here if we come back.
This room does seem to be, despite the unpleasant decor, reasonably stable and safe. We could potentially be carrying him into danger if we take him with us. But we could pick him up on the way back.
Exactly. Yeah. Let's just leave him here.
Okay. Noting that we have agreed to retrieve him before our exit from this location.
If we have time.
It always feels like that tends to not work. It's a very hasty exit.
Okay.
So are we going in through the door that says "Do not disturb" in Android blood?
As you wish.
Okay.
We're gonna go through the "Do not disturb" door.
Okay. And I'm assuming, as we've established, Dragon is taking point on this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You push the door open, or you spin the door open. You hear the flickering of the internal comms as a static starts. Kind of the same static that you all have had on your own personal comms is now kind of piping through the speaker system. You push it open. You push the door open, and you can see this is, again, some kind of laboratory is what you expect. And you can see that there are two bodies that are like hanging and drooping somewhat from the middle. The ceiling seems to be almost holding them up, puppeting them, as you see all of these tangled wires are hanging down from the ceiling above. And they are moving and shifting, these like kind of fleshy bodies with stitching that suggests that they've been reproportioned in some way. You also notice, Dragon, that there are two androids that are on the floor. They're been stretched out in pools of these internal fluids. You can see that their synthetic flesh has been cut open, and it has allowed access likely to their various processors inside. You see wires sticking out and kind of covering the floor in all sorts of directions. And they seem to be connected to some kind of generator of some kind. And as you're taking this in, the speaker that you heard come on, that you heard the static come through, suddenly like there's a crackle and you hear an automated voice come on, and it says, "Warning, warning, this station's life support systems have been compromised. Warning, warning, this station's life support systems have been compromised. All personnel, warning, warning, this station's life support systems have been compromised." And I think that's where we're going to stop for tonight. And we'll pick up on that next time around.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh. Okay.
Just sit with that anxiety. Yeah. Just sit with that anxiety for a week.
This is fine.
It's good.
Oh,
there you go.
This is fun in space.
Yay.
Nunsuaq station or Nunsuaq station. This is a Death in Space module that I've had sitting on my computer for a while that I've been really wanting to run. Nice. It's by oh my god, I don't know how to pronounce the name, but Carl Nibliaus or Nimble. Oh my god, I'm so sorry, Carl. So really good stuff. It's a really cool, like, simple little dungeon crawl, but all sorts of craziness going on. I can't wait to kind of get into more about what's happening here. but it's pretty fun. So I'm very excited. It's been a while since we played Destin's Place. I remember we played it years ago when it first came out. We played like maybe four sessions of it, something like that. Like a couple different groups of people. I think we did some. I think we did some official stuff, but also I wrote a few. So that was fun. So it's nice to kind of get back to that vibe and see how easy it is for me to adapt to what I've been doing with We're in Danger. So, but yeah, there we're at. That's it for this time.
Interrupt you really quick. Welcome, Raiders from Althaven. Thanks for joining us.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that raid. Hopefully you had a good stream tonight. We unfortunately are actually ending ours, but we'll pay it forward with a raid here in a minute to make sure we take you all somewhere else. But yeah, any questions? Any problems? Anything about the system so far? The tech stuff? Did it make sense? Did it click?
I love the blades in the dark. Like when you come to a situation, you figure out what it is you have. Love that. So big fan of that here.
Yeah, it's a fun idea. Especially it gives the some fun for the person who played the smarter character that has more gadgets. So you have more like moments.
Yeah. And that's kind of like the idea, like that's the idea of it. It's like I started thinking about, that's why like the person who like it's based upon your muscle, how many slots you have. Like the idea that somebody who's like focusing on brute force and such, meaning they would have a very like the one in muscle would probably like maybe they have like a gun, like a colonial marine, right? They have like a big old flamethrower or something like that.
But like
that's
your body is your tool.
Right, exactly. So yeah, I wanted there to be kind of a trade-off, but I really like the idea of there being essentially three choices. You can either have one item that gives you a 5 bonus and then you can have for a while, or you have like 2 items that are 4 in between, or you have like 3 items, with like a smaller bonus. So I like that. I like those options there. It sounds like it seems pretty fun. But yeah, the extermination ability is pretty fun too. So like we'll probably get into it next time, but essentially the new ability for like the new class of danger, I play with attributes. So it attacks you and it can screw your attributes up. So your attributes start going up. And if your attributes go up too high, then you just die. You just become exterminated. So you can actually use your tech to effectively protect you against it. You can like sacrifice your tech. So that's another purpose for them later. So anyhow, cool. Yeah, we'll get into that next time.
Yeah.
All right, let's do a couple of closing plugs. We'll get on out of here. Joe, anything going on with DOK this week?
Yeah, we're going to be doing Cyberpunk, I think, this Friday, because we started a DCC campaign and then Chuck got bored with it, so now we're doing Cyberpunk again.
Nice. Cyberpunk Red?
I don't know if it's Red. Maybe. Can't remember. It's the one we have in Roll20. But yeah, we're kind of going back to a campaign we were doing a few months ago, but picking it back up. I'm not sure if we're doing, some people are doing the same characters, but just like further down in time. So it'll be fun.
Right on. As for us, our next stream is Thursday night, as we get some more Legend in the Mist, our rustic fantasy game going on right now. Saturday, we got Call of Cthulhu. We are getting very near the end of our year in like 15-month Call of Cthulhu Eternal Lies campaign. So we're getting very, very close to the end. So there's that. Coming later this month, we're going to be doing some Wild Sea on Tuesdays. Also, probably in the next 2 months, you might see more space horror stuff, as I think we're gonna bust out the new Coriolis at some point on the channel. So that's something to look forward to in the next month or two. And there's talk, maybe One Ring again. I hear people keep telling me that we need to run it again. So fine, I guess. I think we're probably going to do that this year.
Everyone should keep saying that. Yes.
There you go. Yeah. Anyhow, I'm just teasing. Love that game. All right, let's raid somebody. Let's do Blackwater D&D. So follow the raid. Have a great rest of your night. We'll see you all later. Bye-bye.